I told my mom she will never meet my child, so she turned her room into a nursery. I am currently pregnant with my first child, and both my mom and stepdad have been terrible to me and my partner the entire time. Told us we would be unfit parents because we aren't married yet, legitimately screamed at my partner for knocking up their little girl, even though we planned the pregnancy. They would call him every day and harass him, and showing up to his work. Try to convince him to leave me so I would have no choice but to move back in with them. It got worse as time went on. I finally decided to cut contact with them. Having a child can already be a stressful time, and having them around to make it worse was not something I was okay with. My partner and I have gone through a lot with family drama the past couple years, and having this baby has been one of the most exciting things for us. If my parents can't be nice to my partner, then they don't get to see our baby. Plus, they are the kind of people who don't wear masks in public and actively choose to be in large gatherings with no social distancing, so them seeing a newborn is out of the question. One day I sent my mom a very detailed email of why she is not allowed to be a part of my life anymore and will not be seeing her grandchild. To make things even better, I also noted that we will be moving across the country shortly after she is born to be closer to other family members. So not only is she cut off, but we are literally moving far away and never coming back. She responds by showing up at our house at 11 p.m. screaming outside our door about how it is her baby and she deserves to be there for it. I tell her to fuck off, and eventually she leaves. Months go by and she will text me randomly asking about technical problems with her Wi-Fi router or something and needs help. Little things like that don't mean much to me, and I sent her the info she needed. My cousin also had a virtual baby shower and sent my invitation to my mom's house accidentally, so my mom came by to give it to me. Things slowly came to a point that we were fairly amicable with each other, but I still stood my ground about our boundaries and nothing else had changed. She knew this. Then she sends me a video today that blew my mind. She redecorated her entire guest room to be a nursery. Crib, changing table, $400 worth of newborn clothes, toy chest, stroller, a car seat for her car, and the list goes on. In the video she is in tears saying, "OMG, I can't believe my baby is going to be here soon. This is where she will sleep, where I will change her little diapers, these will be her toys." Is she psychotic? Her baby? Sleeping and living at her house? What? So I call her up immediately and I reiterate that we are still moving across the country soon and that she will have no contact with the baby before that. Her response? "Oh, okay, we will see about that." Genuinely confused. What part of, "you will have no contact with this baby," does she not understand or thinks will change in the next few weeks when she is born? Is she planning on stealing her from us? I am at a loss for words. Edit. Wow, so many great tips from you guys. Thank you for the advice. I showed my partner the comments I have been getting, and I think we are starting to take this more seriously and will be contacting a lawyer on Monday. I wanted to mention a couple things to clarify as well. I have been seeing a psychotherapist the past few months strictly due to the relationship I have had with my mother throughout my life, and all of that is documented. My midwife in hospital is also very aware of the situation and the emotional stress I have been going through. So we will definitely be utilizing this in the case that she tries to sue us or calls CPS. Also, due to the virus, only my partner is allowed to be with me during the birth anyway. We will be keeping things hush until after we move. We would have moved months ago if it was financially possible for us. We also spent a lot of money on my birth center here that is non-refundable. She is due in August and our lease ends in September. We already have everything set up to move, and our other family is helping us out, just a waiting game at this point. My partner is my power of attorney if something happens to me during the birth. We are currently in a state that is against grandparents' rights. The only way she would be able to sue for visitation is if both myself and my partner were deceased. Even after we move, she still cannot file for GPS if she is living in this state. Update 1. My mom tries to convince me to go on a weekend resort vacation with me and my newborn that she is not allowed to see. This is an update to my previous post. Mom turns room into a nursery after I told her she would never meet my baby. Backstory. My mom and I have not spoken for many months now. My entire pregnancy she was terrible to me and my partner, and because of that I told her she would not be seeing her grandchild, whom she liked to call her baby. On top of that, we would be moving across the country to be closer to other family. Her response was, "We will see about that," and then proceeded to build a nursery in her room filled to the brim with baby essentials. So I gave birth about a week ago at home, and my partner and I are so happy with our new addition. We have been quarantined since the second she was born, and our pediatrician recommended for us to keep the baby home for at least 2 months to keep her safe from the virus. My mom calls me after the birth crying about how upset she is that I didn't invite her to be present for the birth and also to congratulate me on giving birth to her baby. Then asks when she can come see her. My partner and I, along with the consult of a lawyer, agreed that my mother could see her one time through a car window, though there would be no touching or holding of any kind. Just a simple viewing. So I told her this and her response was that she would let me know when she's available, and then hasn't said a word to me all week after. Which works for me because I didn't want her to see the baby anyway, we just wanted to give her a chance. This morning I get a voicemail from her asking to go on a resort trip for the weekend. I am absolutely baffled by this. What is going on in her mind? I don't even know what to say. There is still a pandemic and we are quarantining with the baby. I literally just gave birth a few days ago. We haven't spoken in months and all of a sudden she expects me to just go on a vacation with her? She is not allowed to see the baby. Even if she just wanted me to go, I'm not leaving my newborn. I'm not going to take the baby away from her father for that long just so my mom can hang out with her. We are set to move as soon as I'm cleared by my midwife. I am not responding to my mother and I'm starting to think that she is either seriously trying to manipulate me or is just not right in the head. Probably a mix of both. I gave her a chance to see the baby on my terms and she didn't take it, so that's her loss. Update 2. I gave my mom one chance to see her only grandchild and she turned it down because it wasn't a good enough offer. I have a bad relationship with my mother to say the least. She has been terrible to my partner and I my entire pregnancy. I wrote an update about the things she was doing, like building a nursery in her room when I told her she wasn't going to see my baby, a few days ago, but I finally got a response from her regarding the one viewing we were going to allow for her and I just had to post about it. Due to the virus, our pediatrician recommended that we quarantine the newborn for 2 months. My mother knew this, I told her many times. She refused to stay home, to get tested, to wear masks, or do anything really. It's her way or the highway in her mind, but not in reality. And boy did she get a wake-up call today. As of recently, I gave her the opportunity to view the baby through a car window. She seemed fine with it and said she would let me know when she was available. She was abiding to my boundaries? Quite shocking. Then 2 weeks pass and I hear nothing from her. Until this morning. She asks me when she can see her baby, and that it's almost been 3 weeks and she hasn't held her. I laugh. I knew this was going to happen. I tell her she is in quarantine and no one but me and her dad can touch her. That she can see her through a window or not at all. She responds, I think I'll pass on the window, let me know when I can hold my baby. I laugh again. This woman will not stop. I'm fed up. My pregnancy hormones are gone. My baby is here. We are moving away in a matter of weeks and she will never find us. If she thinks she has any power here, she is dead wrong. So I send one last message to her and say, okay, no window then. Maybe when she's 18 she will reach out to you. And blocked. Update 3. I vaccinated my child. My mother is not happy about it. I currently don't speak to my mother, nor have I for many months now. But somehow she still finds ways to butt into my life and the decisions I make for my child. My husband and I both come from anti-vax families. His side is against it but doesn't shame us for vaccinating our daughter. My mother, however, really has a lot to say about it. Since we both were raised to not believe in science, it was pretty natural for us to be against vaccinating our daughter when she was born. I had a home birth, so it was easy to avoid everything. We would lie to pediatricians about it and just did what our parents did when we were kids. But since the new vaccine for COVID was released, I started to consider getting it and decided to do some actual research on vaccines as a whole. My husband and I made the decision to get vaccinated, as well as getting a schedule started for our 6-month-old baby to catch her up. We went in this morning to get her first shots. Everything went smoothly and so far she seems fine. She has been fussy and sleepier than usual, but the pediatrician said that's normal and will go away in a day or 2. We left feeling proud that we were able to educate ourselves effectively and set our baby up for success. Then I get a call. It's my grandpa. Or so I thought. I answer and the first thing I hear is, when you wake up and she isn't breathing, you'll be sorry. I can't believe you did this to my little girl. I hang up immediately and start to panic. I eventually traced it back to a family member that is a doctor. I was asking her questions about vaccines and I told her we were going in today. I guess she told my grandpa how excited she was for us and then he told my mom and then boom, end of the world. My mill found out later and seemed supportive, given her opinions about vaccines. She told us, it's your decision, and I trust that whatever you do is what is best for her. So I'm glad we have her to help reassure us a bit. But now I've been getting texts and calls from my mom, through my grandpa's phone, absolutely freaking out. Saying that she hopes something happens to her so I will see the consequences of my actions. Also that she is praying for her, whatever that means. Ultimately, we are confident with our decision and will continue with her schedule. Although, at times we do question if we made the right decision. I'm sure everything will be fine. But my mother seriously needs to chill out. Update 4. First of all, I just want to thank everyone who has been commenting and messaging me over the past couple years, as I have had no one else to turn to for guidance. I have done so much work to push past everything and just focus on being the best mom I can be. I have been asked to post an update by many people, so here goes. My last few posts ended with my now husband, child, and myself leaving our hometown to not only get away from my toxic family, but also try to find a higher quality of living, and to completely start over with our new family. However, that was halted when my husband decided it was best to move in with his mother to cut costs on housing until we got back on our feet. Assuming she would have been helpful with the baby, despite the warning signs of their relationship, I caved. But of course that quickly came back to bite us, as she rarely, if ever, was helpful. In fact, she often made things much worse. Since October of 2021, we finally moved out of that house and found an apartment. My husband and I both found amazing jobs, and our daughter, now 1.5 years old, is thriving. As of recently, I have had casual conversations with my mother, and living so far away from her has made it a lot easier to have a better relationship. Though it could take years before she is ever allowed around our daughter. My mother-in-law lives in the same city as us and occasionally watches our daughter about once a month, but she usually has random men over while she's babysitting, and it makes me uncomfortable, but that's a different story. She and my husband are still working on their relationship, and I think it'll be a long time before any trust or respect is built back between them and between her and myself. My husband has really come out of his shell since the move now that he's not having to be screamed at by his mother every time he leaves the bedroom. He spends more time with us, is involved with the baby more, and spends less time playing video games. Recently he's been playing Elden Ring a lot, but honestly, who can blame him for that? We are focusing on spending more time doing fun things together and going on weekend trips with the baby when we can. I have been doing more things that make me happy, and he is more comfortable taking the baby for longer periods of time so I can take care of myself. I want to reiterate how thankful I am to everyone who has been involved in our story and has given such wonderful advice. It feels sad to say, but you all were truly all I had in a time that I would consider the hardest point of my life. I hope that my story at some point has helped others out there who might be dealing with similar situations know they are not alone. Looking back, I feel that everything that has happened has definitely pushed me to be more assertive, feel more comfortable setting boundaries, standing up for myself, and not being such a people pleaser. I think those qualities will help me be a better mom in the long run as well. I'll post another update if anything else insane happens, but I'm really hoping for now, things stay calm.